season-ending playoff podcast. I got. Shut up, Nova. I got the same usual cast of characters. I got Zinc, Rel, and Nova with me. How you guys doing?
Yo, what's going on, man? Doing good.
I'm just happy Rel's still alive.
True. Zinc, how's it going? Okay, so we are here. We are officially in the playoffs. Season 1 is virtually done. Just waiting on the playoffs to finish up. I think we had a pretty successful first season. You know, no big issues. Ran smoothly. What do you guys think about the season? How'd it go? Real?
I mean, I think it went good. We had a few replacements we had to get done, you know. A few bums that couldn't stick around, but you know what I'm saying? We got some pretty good replacements. So I think it's gonna be good going forward.
Nova, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it went pretty good. Kinda all those people leaving, you know, Zinc. That was pretty bad, but we got more, we got more new guys. My boy Keegan about to get booted, so that's not good. I finished 3-13, so I mean, at least I won some games.
Alright, Zinc, how did the season overall go?
It went pretty good. It went as I thought, you know. I definitely thought we were going to split with UGA. But overall, it went alright.
You made like 5 people quit?
Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over is we are going to go over the awards. You know, we had the awards came out today after my game. So, first off, MVP. Zinc won MVP with Matt Ryan. Tom Brady was second. Jared Goff was third. So, Zinc got about 0 XP for that, but congrats. Apparently Coach of the Year is kind of fucked up because it shows me as Coach of the Year. I did not win Coach of the Year. Ravens won Coach of the Year. So.
Congrats to Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens with a nice season, 15-1 as well. Going to the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year, Matt Ryan. Again, Zinc got a whole lot of nothing for XP for him. Could let me have that, Zinc. Come on, man.
Oh, man, I'm good.
I won Defensive Player of the Year with Mark Barron.
Maybe you could have let me have that one.
Yeah, true. I didn't get much for that one. Saquon Barkley won Offensive Rookie of the Year. That man looks like a god now. Nova, who won Defensive Rookie of the Year?
It's my boy Roquan Smith, baby. I told you I'd come out with that.
Roquan ended up winning Defensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC. Best quarterback went to Zinc as well, Matt Ryan. Saquon also won Best Running Back. Calvin Ridley won Best Receiver, edging out Brandon Cooks. Damn it. Looks like the Falcons, Rams, Cowboys, Panthers, Falcons, you know, leading the offensive lineman awards. D-line, Preston Smith for the Redskins. Didn't really see that one coming. Kind of surprised about that one. But linebacker of the year went to me, Mark Barron. DB of the year went to me as well, Marcus Peters. So, you know, seeing a lot of the same teams on here. Graham Gano won kicker of the year for GGA, or Jalen. So, that's the NFC. Rel, you want to go through the AFC?
Yeah, AFC, we'll start with the Offensive Player of the Year. We got Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying, Mr. GOAT himself. Taking on that award with Mike and the Patriots.
He got a whole, like, 5 XP.
Defensive Player of the Year, we got Denzel Perryman from the Chargers. I don't know how this dude won it. He's a bum.
Alright.
You got Sam Darnold winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Beats. Defensive Rookie of the Year, you got my boy Bradley Chubb.
First of all, go ahead. First of all, can we stop here and just pour one out for my man Damage? Not only did he tie for the interception lead with Mike, they gave the XP to Mike, and he was leading the defensive rookie of the year before this week's game, and he didn't get either. So sorry, damage, bro.
And his linebacker still normal.
Yeah, it's been that was a rough turn of events for damage. All right, go ahead, bro.
Best QB we got Brody with Mike. Best running back we got Derrick Henry with Ravens. Wide receiver we got AJ Green, 2 Bengals, 1 and 2. Shout out to Cali.
The Cali cheese.
O-line goes to Ravens and hit running attack with Taylor Lewan. D lineman go to my boy Apex. Shout out to Donald. Apex to use the D-line god.
Yeah.
And then this guy Denzel Perriman again. He appears again. I don't know how. I'll say it again. Shout out to Ocean. Then we got another guy. I don't know how he's on the list. Big Dawson Jr. But congrats to Mike and this guy. And best kicker goes to Goskowski. Mike with another award.
Alright. So Mike won a lot of awards in the AFC. Okay. Alright, so what do you guys think about the awards this year? Any unexpected and expected?
I'm just happy I won one.
It was pretty much expected. I knew I wasn't gonna win many awards, but you know what I'm saying? The guys that performed well for me did get rewarded, so I'm not too mad about it.
Yeah, I mean if you look at it, I mean you could go to the division standings and it looks like the top three teams in each conference pretty much dominated the awards, so kind of expected. So that's the yearly awards. Let's go to the playoffs. We are in the playoffs. We are in the wild card round. We did have 2 playoff games today. Already played. We had the upset so far of the playoffs. Uber beating Manny. Uber was down Mike Evans. He didn't have Mike Evans. I want to say he was down somebody else too. Yeah, he was down Quan Alexander. And Manny had been just rolling through people. So it's really surprising to see Uber come out there and kind of dominate Manny. Yeah.
Proud about that game too.
I mean, he won 29-10. On the road as a 6th seed. So we already know one matchup for the next round, and that's going to be Zink versus Uber. Because Uber is the 6th seed. Uber is the 6th seed. So what did you think about that game, Zink?
I thought it was really great that Uber was able to do more with less.
That's true.
Out those 2 stars, especially Mike Evans. Just come out with a good dub. Nice.
The other game that was played today was, our outstanding podcast member, Rel. He played the Bengals. What'd you think about that game, Rel?
I knew it was going to be a tough game. Week 17, I lost my starting center and my starting left tackle. So I had 260 starting on the line, so I knew that my whole offense was going to be predicated on, quick passes, dink and dunk to move the ball down the field. Maybe some occasional Coleman big runs, and that's exactly what it was. During this game, I tried my best not to turn the ball over. I just tried to play it safe, and I knew that he would make a mistake, and he did, and I was able to capitalize on it.
Okay. Stat of the game. The Bengals had 347 offensive yards gained. Rel had 117. And he won 24-17. Good Lord, Rel.
Dobbs
I
threw
will
for
say, I'm gonna say
326.
this though. A lot of his was garbage yard passing. So I played a lot of soft coverage coming down. I was just trying to make him waste clock. He could take everything underneath 15, 20 yards. I was just trying to play, not give the quick one-play touchdown. So that's for that. And with Joe Flacco, I played it super safe. I was just running the ball. And when he turned the ball over, that's how I got my points. Most of my points were off turnovers and Coleman breaking big runs.
Not too big of runs because you only finished with 117 yards. Good Lord.
He had like a 50-yard run to put me in the game. I had a 105-yard interception return to the 1-yard line, and I was able to run that in. So I had 2 rushing touchdowns.
So then we still have 2 more games that we're waiting on. Fletcher's Texans versus Mike's Pats. I think they're playing tomorrow. The big game of uncertainty, though, is Jalen versus Doc. Apparently, they have like exact opposite schedules. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. So in the playoffs, guys, what do you think should happen in a scenario that we're running into? Opposite schedules. Should we push advance back? Should we just give it the win to Jalen because we know he's going to win, or should it be a fair sim? What are your guys' thoughts on it, Rel?
I kind of want to say maybe we should, see if they could, schedule in the next couple of days. Because, I mean, a fair sim in the playoffs is never good, especially when you got somebody like GGA potentially losing. He's a potential Super Bowl caliber player, and I think he will beat the Vikings. But I mean, it's still not fair to the Vikings to have to take a forced loss just because we think GGA will win. He don't even get the chance to perform with his team. So I mean, you can look at it both ways. I just hope they're able to get it in.
What do you think, Nova?
I think the same thing. Like, have them talk it over, see if there's like anything in the next 3 to 4 days if they can play it all, and that's how we can push it back. Like that's the thing. Like you can't just that's the thing too. You can't just count a team out. You never know what Doc could do. Doc could roll up and throw for 450 yards and upset Jalen. You gotta give him a chance.
I will say this.
It might not happen, but I'm saying, and you gotta give him a chance.
To pushing it back also mess up the off-season schedule. It'd be ideal to have the draft this weekend, and I think by like pushing it back, you got the opportunity to have off-season that lasts a whole week. If they play later in the week, we would have to wait till next weekend to draft. So I think that's something else you gotta think about.
I mean, how far is pushing too far back? Is there I don't know. It's one of those situations where how long is too long to wait on a single game?
I would say, when do we advance? We advance
today. Today around 1 o'clock.
Yeah. I'll say, man, maybe by Tuesday. I think Wednesday, the latest. But I'm even getting into Wednesday, man, for one game. That's kind of, everybody's anxious. Everybody's ready to go to off season. Everybody, they're talking.
Because from what I understand, the other game for sure is going down tomorrow afternoon or early evening. So Monday night, say 6, 8, between 6 and 8 o'clock, we could be advanced to the next round. But see, at that point, how far do you push it back? Like, I can't imagine going past Wednesday afternoon at the latest, in my opinion.
Going past Wednesday, even going to Wednesday would make it so maybe the draft will not be this weekend. It might actually be a weekday draft, which would not allow a lot of people to attend, or even a pause draft. But we have problems.
Oh, God.
So I don't know. It's just
alright.
We're able to play in the next couple days.
Yeah. What do you think, Zink?
I mean, you can't push it back so much. I mean, we had that one season, the one playoff season where we waited.
Dishinoshi.
Fucking ever.
Dishinoshi, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's people want from the season start. People want to draft. See how you can play something.
Right.
So, another thing is, now we come to certain players. Anybody else will probably want to wait, but since I think it's Jalen, I don't think Jalen would care about starts him or not. He's gonna be right back here next year.
Very true.
He'll be here. He did it before. He did it with the Seahawks. So him getting if he loses here in the first one, I don't think he'll mind.
All right, so let's do a couple.
I'm sure if he just wants the league to go on.
Alright, so let's go do some predictions for these last two games. Mike versus Fletcher. Who y'all got winning? Rel?
I got Mike winning that game.
Nova?
It's gonna be a good game though.
Upset you. I got Fletcher.
Zink?
You mean Mike?
Yeah, I got Mike as well. And then, of course, if they play, I think we all pick Jalen to win this game, right?
Division prize. Division
Bruh,
prize.
you wild.
Let's stick with my boy.
Okay.
I think if they play this game, GGA will have it started out by halftime.
That's a very true statement. Okay. Alright, so the next big thing that happened is, we got the dynamic dev increases and decreases. We had a lot of people go down in dev. I mean, I'm talking superstar players. I mean, me and Zink were looking at it earlier. The likes of Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, David Johnson, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. I mean, those are some, superstar players losing dev. What do you guys think about the new way that dynamic dev is working? Like,
I think it's good. I think if you look at it right now, like the way the game is set up, only like 6 players position, some less are able to keep that superstar threshold. I think that's good because if you look at how a player played in that season goes into account, if he will keep it, I think that's pretty good for this Madden. I applaud them on this, on putting it into the game.
Yeah. What do you think, Nova? You had some ups and you had some downs. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. First thing I would say is I wish there was something more than superstar, because if it was, Brooklyn would have that right now. Man, it's got Kyle Fuller going down, that'll hurt because he is my number one quarterback, and then with him going down, you won't get the shit that he used to get. As for like the game or whatever, I think it's nice how it progresses and regresses. I was all about the regress this year. I never saw one progress, so it's alright.
Oh, also
that -2.
Also,
It's
Jalen.
okay.
Also, Jalen Ramsey went down as well. So, like, we're talking some studs going down.
Like you have one bad or 2 games, and yeah, they'll bump you down.
Like I said, I like it as well. I personally like it because I benefited from some really good upgrades. My downgrades were like Michael Brockers went down in dev, Aqib Talib went down in dev, but like LaMarcus Joyner, John Johnson, Jared Goff, Brandon Cooks, Garrett Everett, I had all kinds of people go up to star dev, which will help me in the upcoming seasons, gaining that XP to try to make them better. So, I'm personally am on the up end of that, but, I like it. I'm hoping that we can figure out, as we go on in Madden, how they're figuring these things out, because like, I looked through all the offensive linemen and I didn't see a single offensive lineman go down. So Lamar Jackson got sacked more than anybody in the entire history of the league, I think, and his lineman held still. So I think there's a lot to figure out still about how they upgrade and downgrade. So it's gonna be interesting to see as the year goes on. So
Agreed.
Let's see. Draft's coming up, boys. Are we excited about drafting?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite part of CFM.
Yeah.
I like the new look that they put in this year too.
Oh, guys, Doc just got home early. That's Jalen.
Oh,
Damn.
let's go.
Maybe it goes down.
Let's get that game done, so I can be a one and done in the playoffs.
But yeah, man, draft season, trade season. We got a lot of things happening in the off season.
What kind of trades do you think we're gonna see this off season? You think it's gonna be wild?
Well, I know there are a few trades that are in the works. Some that are already confirmed, but for me, speaking from the Broncos, I am trading Luke Kuechly. If you want him, come get him. I'm looking for picks, maybe some offensive line help. So that's why I'm looking to move. What move are y'all trying to make?
I have 2 first-round picks, and I have Dalvin Cook that I'm trying to trade, so we'll see what happens. I'm trying to trade back in the draft, or I wanted to trade for a certain wide receiver, but I think he's going to go somewhere else. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how everything else progresses to see what trades I'm going to try to make. I'm going to be very active when it comes around the draft, though, about trading, moving down, trying to figure out what I want to do. What about you, Nova? What are you excited to try to do?
Well, I am looking for a number 2 cornerback. Bryce Callahan will go if you send the right guy. Another linebacker because Ahmad Brooks is old as shit. Line. Well, actually, I'm drafting D-line, O-line. Wide receivers, I pretty much got quarterbacks. So I'm just looking for defenses here. Anyone interested? Except my pick. But I might have to get that away. Anyone interested, hit me up. I'm trying to build that. I'm trying to build my D-line defense up. Probably not a lot, trade. I don't want to be easy to get
okay. Okay, you're done. You're done, Nova. Let's talk to the guy who's always the most active trade person. The man who's willing to trade pretty much anybody on his team. You know, Zink, what are your plans this offseason? Without saying too much, you know, I don't want you to give away what, you know, to the entire world, but what are you trying to accomplish this offseason?
I am trying to get a top 8 pick. That's my number one goal. You know, after seeing all this dev and stuff, I really want to get a. I think I want to get like a dominant 3-4 lineman or D lineman, because you know all of my 3 linemen went down in dev, so I can't build any D line. So I would love to get a dominant force there. And you know, Deion Jones, I would love to move him, you know, for the ass if I can get it. And you know, I forgot Neil. So I got anybody I'd be willing to move. I got Ridley, anybody really. So I know everybody says don't trade with Zing, but I somehow still make diamond trades every season.
I mean, I will say this: you're definitely willing to trade value for what you want. You know, they can say what they want, don't trade with Zink, but you know, you're pretty fair when it comes to trading away superstar players for, you know, what you want. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason because, you know, we haven't even seen regression hit yet. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like. You know, I'm hoping that I don't lose a lot of people, you know, a lot of regression, because my offensive line is kind of old, and I'm really hoping that some of them can be patchwork for next season. But, you know, that's another subject for another day. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get off here?
I'll say in the coming week we're gonna do a little draft special podcast where, you know what I'm saying, we throw out some players out there that you might have overlooked, draft gems. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, we'll also do a you know, free agency recap, draft recap. You know, when we're done with the draft, we'll talk about
in draft grades. We're gonna give out draft grades for every team in every division.
Yeah, we'll be
on the lookout for that.
We'll do off-season grades too, like free agency, like who paid too much for who. You know, we're trying to be as active as we can with these podcasts. Any upcoming things that you would like the admins to consider? Rule changes, tweaks, whatever. Rel, I'm not going to include you in here because you are an admin. So, Nova, anything that you would want, you know, the admins to consider doing?
Can't really think of anything. Just try enforcing more than like what we don't know. So like what happened with you today. How 49ers guy didn't do. Like just enforce it and make sure everyone's doing it. Because if you lose it by 25 or more, I guarantee the person winning by 25 is not going to want to sit there once you try and score. And I know that because I'm always the one trying to score because I'm down by 25.
Facts.
So even I too clap because, you know, sometimes you're just mad and whatever, you just want to get that game over with. So maybe enforce that. Other than that, I think we did pretty good.
Zink, I know you got a few.
I know my main thing really is injury and safety. I mean, I can't say this enough. You know, I've had a few picks. You know, I'm just jogging back. That's frustrating, getting caught by someone on the offense. Injury too. You know, we've had a lot of superstars go down. I mean, just that, you know, those pictures that the Vikings shared, and there's one where the Riccio shared. You know, injuries are brutal. Injuries and safety needs to be at least lower down a bit. And something else, XP. I think XP on a quarterback and linebacker needs to be up.
Why you say quarterback?
Now that we got the XP bar showing up, you know, even the young quarterbacks take like 9K to upgrade versus receivers and corners. They're taking like 4K. So there's no reason the quarterback should be developing a lot slower than any other position.
Okay. The only thing that I will suggest, and I do like I love the new streaming rule. I love it. You know, I think every game should be streamed. I know people do not like it. I think it makes the league more interactive. But I plead that we make it an official rule that either the away or home team streams. Like, don't leave it out there. Yeah, don't leave it out there so teams can be like, oh, I thought he was streaming. No, I thought he was streaming. Just make it a mandatory. The home team always streams or the away team always streams. That way, the person whose job is to stream knows that they have to stream that game. You know, that's all I got. You know, I think we're doing pretty well. You know, with the rules, we didn't have too many rules broken up, talked about. Or I will say, the other thing that I want to talk about just real quick, and we don't have to make it a big deal, but blowing out opponents. Oh, I do want to talk about that a little bit. You know, we've had some.
Guys threatened me.
Jalen threatened you?
Yeah, he threatened me. He said he was about to blow me up at like 50. Because I went off on him in one of the last podcasts. He said I'm gonna hold up the score.
Yes, I mean.
Snitching again.
Damn, Nova. So how do you guys feel about having to, you know, not scoring or not, you know, running the ball in for touchdowns or not returning picks? Do you guys think that there should be a rule on it, or do you think that if you're not passing, you know, it's up to the opponent to stop you? Rel, I'll include you on this because I think you have some valid input on this topic as well, because I've talked to you about it before.
I think like if you're playing within the rules, you're running the ball. You know, I mean, in no circumstances am I gonna just run my running back into a box with 11 people in it. That's just not gonna happen. Playing somebody, I mean, they gotta keep some integrity within the game. That even though that because of the rules you have to run the ball. Well, you don't have to run the ball, but you know what I'm saying. It should be strongly considered. But they have to play. They can't just put all their men in the box and just blitz you because they know you gotta run it because you're up by so much. And I mean, people that keep throwing the ball, I would never tell somebody that they have to fall down on a pick or they can't take a pick back. I mean, this is a league full of grown men. I mean, if you're down by that much, run the ball, shoot the clock, and get out of there. Like, you just keep throwing the ball. I mean, it's not that person's fault that you keep throwing pick sixes. So, yeah, that's pretty much my input on it.
What do you think, Nova? Because and I say this in the best way possible, Nova, but you're usually on the losing end of some of these blowouts.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
So how do you feel like in those situations? Because I think Mike blew you out, right? Like
which one? Yes,
Patriots.
Like 45-2.
Okay. How do you feel about somebody scoring on you when they're up 5 or 6 scores in the fourth quarter running the ball?
I know how to control my composure and whatever, so like I don't get as mad. I know they're kind of doing it for stats, and yeah, it boosts your stats a lot. And like it's all about like having fun, but like let's say you're up, like they were only up 45-2, it's like alright, it won't be that bad, I'm not that bad, but if it's like 60-70 to 7, that's a little bit too much. So like what the fuck, like you can have fun all you want, but like I don't know.
I got a question. Who should you penalize in that case? The person who's running pick six back, or the person that's throwing the pick sixes? I mean,
that's
responsibility lies on both sides.
It depends on the player playing. Like he may not know like how to do it and whatnot. So like he'll just keep on doing it. Like he might get mad and he'll keep on doing it. It all just depends on the player using it.
See, I disagree. I don't think it should matter of who it is. If I blow somebody out and Zink blows somebody out, for example, because Zink is very good at this game. It's gonna be looked upon differently if I blow somebody out and Zink blows somebody out. If Zink blows somebody out, it's gonna be looked at like he's stat padding. Because he usually blows people out quite often. Me, if I blow somebody out, they're gonna be like, oh, I just had, like today, I won 41-14. The 49ers guy did not chew. I was chewing, and he was still throwing bombs, down 41-14. So what am I supposed to do in that situation where I am abiding by the rules, and yet the 49ers guy, and I'm using him as an example, we see it every week, it's not nothing against him because I like him, you know, but you know, he's throwing bombs, dude, you know, down, you know, 4 scores. Like, I think it's a tricky situation. You can't really blame it on the person winning, because, I mean, trust me, there are times you can tell when people let up. You know, Jalen's let up on me before. You know, I've seen Zink let up on people. And, I mean, at what point is it like, okay, I've let up on you and you're still doing this? Okay, now I'm going to take this one back.
Yeah, and that's that's exactly why we have the stream mode too. So like the admins can go back and look like where you went wrong, and then if you weren't, they could see what the other guy was doing. Then they can literally tell him like, this is your own fault that you're doing this, and you pretty much deserve this.
Alright, Zink, since you're a known offender of this category, how do you feel about you know, having to stop scoring, or them telling you to stop, take your starters out, or whatever the case may be? Because I've seen it in chat where Yoda told you to take out Neil. You should have took out Neil. He didn't need that pick. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's up to both owners, right? I really think that. But if you're gonna have, you know, the game that everybody thought of, the game that apparently made someone leave, you know, when I played the Packers, that guy left. I beat him 52-3. Now it got to the point where I didn't even throw a single pass since the half started, and I still blew him out. Not really trying. Now why did this happen? Guy kept throwing the ball. Now you are right. I always feel that if I blow someone out, it definitely looks bad on me. There's no reason that I should sit my starters. Like, no, I don't want to sit them. I shouldn't be forced to kneel or take a dive on pick six. But like, this game could have easily been 103 or more. But I would have still been following the rules.
I definitely.
Like, that shoot clock rule needs to be enforced, and the thing that needs to happen. Somebody needs to get punished. Now, it's gonna happen more when the losing team gets punished for getting blown out because they weren't chewing.
That's exactly
what needs to happen.
Because I mean, I've seen numerous occasions, like my game. I've seen it against there was like another game, a couple other games recently since the Packers game, where I've seen somebody not chew down 25. Like I mean, Uber let everybody know it's posted. Like I'm with Zink, unless somebody gets punished for sucking that bad where they're not chewing, like seriously. Like, I think that they're not going to do it. But if you lose a game by 4+ scores, and then you lose a player to a suspension because you didn't chew like you were supposed to, I think that's when people will actually start saying, oh shit, I really have to chew. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, unless anybody else got anything else they want to talk about?
Nah.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for today, boys. We're going to try to finish up these playoffs this week, hopefully. So we can get to the free agency and the draft. And then, depending on when that goes on, we'll be back with a draft special and probably like a, end of the off-season, special. So we're going to try to do a couple more podcasts this off-season, try to, keep it fresh and, keep everybody involved. So if anybody else wants to come on, just let, we always post when we're going on. So, alright guys, that's all I got for today. See y'all later.
Peace out.
See ya.
Tony, you wild, bro.